everybody. Just going to do a little adjusting here. How is everyone? Hello, it's Thursday night, live with Barb. I'm in Sheridan, Wyoming, where the weather is less than ideal for the middle of June. It's been raining all week. And not that I'm complaining per se about having extra moisture, but I am, because things are flooding. And then, of course, my husband's trying to redo our deck, and he can't work on the deck when it's raining. So, but that's all I'm going to say about that. So there you go. So I see we have a number of you guys already on here. Thank you for stopping by to have a little bit of stamping fun with me tonight. I have some, I think they're cute projects. I hope you guys do too. We are going to be using one of the new tools in the catalog, in case you weren't aware of it, which you probably are. But it's a little additional tip set for the Take Your Pick tool. So we're going to be using the little perforating tool. The brain still is not functioning very well. I am still tired. I am just tired of being tired, but it is what it is. And we must persevere and we must roll with it, because there's nothing else you can do except just go with the flow, right? I'm hoping that the live stream doesn't fail me tonight. I've had some issues. We do a fun family meeting with my dad and my brother once a month. We started it when COVID started, since we couldn't go visit my dad. Well, I guess we could, but my brother didn't want to travel. His mother-in-law lives with him. She's like 97. So of course he didn't want to take any chances of getting her sick. We didn't want to take any chances of getting my dad sick. He's pretty old himself. He's going to be 90 this year. And so we decided we would start using Zoom like everyone else. And we decided to do a fun family meeting every month. Well, we've just continued doing it since we don't see my dad. I probably see him more than my brother, because he's only about 2 hours from me. I live in Wyoming. My dad's in Montana. My brother's in Arizona. So it's quite a bit farther for my brother to get up to Arizona. So we've been doing a fun family meeting. And last Sunday, I had horrendous internet connection. It was terrible. It just kept stopping. The internet just kept going away and kept stopping. And I was like, oh, what's going on? So frustration. So I'm hoping that it doesn't do that to us tonight, because it's frustrating. But anyway, so what do we got for comments so far? Anything exciting that we need to talk about? I think you guys have all mentioned your weather, which some of you are having good weather. Some of you are having weather like mine. Is it Karen or Corinne is in Tucson? That's where my brother lives. How exciting is that? Priscilla is watching. Didn't you have lunch with Kelly today, Priscilla? I thought I saw you on her story. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was you. Fun. In case you guys didn't know, Kelly's in San Diego for a wedding. And maybe that's private information. Oh, well, not anymore. I'm sure it's not. What else do we have going on here? I see some of my team members on. So thank you guys so much for joining. My neighbor Penny says she's having weather like mine. Penny is one of my team members, and she's also one of my neighbors. That's so funny. Yeah. So yes, Penny, we're having some fantastic weather, right? That's really funny. Okay. So I don't really have any funny son stories. He's just been, not behaving himself. That's a terrible thing to say, because he doesn't do bad things, but he hasn't done anything stupid. So, not that I want him to do stupid stuff, but it gives me some fun stories to tell. So there you go. Oh, somebody asked me how my shingles were. Noreen did. Noreen, they're still there. I still have either it's a scar, like the rash has left a scar. I don't know. Maybe the rash does or doesn't, but I can still see the spots where the rash was. And then that nerve in my back still, in fact, it's acting up right now. It just sort of comes and goes whenever it feels like it. It's not the excruciating, debilitating pain that I felt in the beginning. It's just more annoying now. So I can deal with it. I just sort of, try to ignore it and then it eventually goes away. So, but yeah, still there, still loving it, still having a fantastic time with the shingles. But it could be way worse. I mean, I'm not complaining, knock on something. It could be a lot worse. So there you go. Sharon says she's got severe thunderstorms in Oklahoma. Yuck. Oh, Penny says shingles leave scars and last a long time. Okay, well, I'm right there in there, Penny. Thanks for the info. So yeah, I guess my rash has left a scar, which, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not anywhere that anyone's going to be seeing it. It's like right between my melons, and no one's going to see that. So there you go. Got her first shot in her arm. Hurts like heck, and it's been a month. Oh gosh, Noreen, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I get torn between, I think I'd have to wait for a while before I could get the shingles shot because I understand you can get it again. It's not like, like other things where once you get it, then you have immunity, you don't get it again. I understand that you can get it again. So anyway, so annoying. Let's see. My daughter's doing very well. This is she'll be ending her second week of her internship tomorrow. So the crazy thing, they wanted this week she was supposed to start actually working. Last week was mostly training and watching company videos and that kind of thing, and this week she was supposed to actually work. Well, when she got to work Monday morning, her computer access, she didn't have access to the parts of the website or parts of whatever that she needed in order to do her job. So she called IT and they said, "Oh, we'll get it done." And she's like, "So I don't have anything to do." And I said, "You need to keep calling them. You need to call them every day, morning and after lunch, and say, 'What's the status of my situation?'" I said, "Because if you don't continue to bother them, they probably won't care about your problem." So finally, this morning, she said it was fixed. So now she is able to actually work. She is having a great time. The day went by really fast for her. So that was good. So yeah, so she's enjoying that. They're doing some kind of meet and greet event somewhere in downtown Denver tonight. And so she was going to go to that. So this mama's heart is a little concerned. I mean, she's from a small town in Wyoming, and then she goes to the University of Wyoming, which is still not that big. And now she's living in Denver. So yeah, I'm slightly concerned. Having her driving around and parking and walking alone in downtown Denver. Yeah, I'm concerned. And she says to me, she goes, "You realize, of course, I'm going to be moving somewhere large like Denver, and I'm going to be doing stuff by myself all the time." I'm like, "I know, but it doesn't make me feel any better to know that." So anyway, I'm sure she'll be fine. She's not stupid. I mean, my husband's a law enforcement officer, and he has, if he's done nothing else over the course of my kids' lives, he's drilled into their heads to be aware of your surroundings and that kind of thing. So they both are pretty good about that. So anyway, but that's it. Father's Day's coming up, and I got my husband a really fun gift. It's kind of a gift for me too. I got us the complete series of the show called Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with that. It was a TV show when I was a kid. And we both really like kind of sci-fi shows. We've been watching all the Star Trek shows that there are. We are just about done with Star Trek Enterprise. We've watched all the Star Trek movies. And so we've been trying to find Buck Rogers, if we could like stream it somehow, but you can't, at least not on any of the platforms that we have. So I decided to go on Amazon and I bought the season 1 and season 2. There's only 2 seasons of it, and it was like $30. And so it's a Father's Day gift, but it's a gift for me too. So I'll give it to him on Sunday. We should be done with Star Trek Enterprise probably sometime next week, and then we can watch Buck Rogers. You guys, I'm so excited. So anyway, that should be funny. Let's see. Tina says, compared to other cities her sons lived in, he says Denver is the safest. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Maybe this mama's heart cannot be so freaked out now all the time. But I do have to say, your son is a man and my daughter is a girl. Um, I don't know. If it was my son, I would be less worried than my daughter, just because. Anyway, oh my gosh, we like to binge watch so many things. I don't like watching just like a movie and a movie. We love watching series of things. And I love watching things that have lots of seasons, lots of episodes, because then it lasts for a long time. So I think after we watch Buck Rogers, we might try watching MacGyver, because I think that's also on Paramount. That's the platform that we've been using most frequently. And I think that MacGyver's on Paramount. If it's not, it's on Peacock. We have both. And there's like 6 or 7 seasons of MacGyver. So we will be probably watching that after Buck Rogers. And we also did watch Battlestar Galactica, if you guys remember that show from way back. I think there's a remake of it now, but it's just not the same, Apollo and Starbuck, they're just like iconic characters. And they're not so bad to look at either, if you know what I'm saying. So anyways, we did watch all of the Battlestar Galactica. And yeah, so good times. So anyways, that's all I have. I don't have any blabbing to do because there's nothing to blab about. Things have just been rolling right along here, and nothing horrible's happening. So that's good. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera, and then we shall get to some stamping. Hopefully, like I said, this silly internet of mine does not... And then the camera just never wants to flip. I don't understand that. Like, what is the deal? You hit the button, and then it doesn't work, and you hit the button again, and it still doesn't work, and then you hit the button a third time. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess we'll flip. I have 2 of the cards that I made last week. I don't know where the other one is. I'm pretty sure I made another one, but I don't know where it is. So we made this fun kind of pocket card using the Stargazing Designer Series paper. And then here's the inside, and we talked about using the edges of the Designer Series paper, even though there wasn't like a full planet. I just cut the edges off the paper, and then you can use the edges, and you can use the entire sheet of paper that way. And then we did this card. This is a swap that I just did, and we just talked about, placing the trim on there, not necessarily tying it down or wrapping it to the back, just because sometimes these pieces of trim are a little bit, or this kind of trim can be very thick. When you get it on a card, and then sometimes it makes extra bulk that you don't necessarily want. So those were 2, and like I said, I know there's another one, but I don't know what it was. Maybe you guys remember, who knows? I feel like it was with some Designer Series paper of some sort, but I don't know. Anywho, if you guys are not already a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're wanting to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to have you join my team. Did you know that you can add the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to your starter kit because we get the extra amount in June? So if you were to buy a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, let's say you didn't have one, it would cost you about $150 with the shipping and the tax. But if you join Stampin' Up! And you put the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine into your kit, you will also get to add another $27 worth of merchandise to that. And then you will get your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and $27 of additional merchandise for $99 plus tax. Wow, what a savings. You can also, if you're wanting to get the new colors, all the new colors, you can add those to your starter kit and get those at a giant discount. So I would love to have you join my team. We have monthly meetings, we have monthly swaps. All my team members get to join Stamp Happy Academy with a basic membership for free once they place their first order as a demonstrator. We have a demo 101 training every week, the 3 of us put on, and so there's just so many things that we offer, and I would love to have you join my team. So let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, there's a link in the description of this video and you can just do it. Okay. We also are having our Designer Series paper sale. Oh, Pat's so sweet. Pat's one of my team members, and she said to join my team because I'm the best. Oh my gosh, if you could see me, I'm blushing right now. Pat, thank you so much. You're very sweet. Designer Series paper is also on sale this month. We have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 papers that are 15% off. We're going to use one or two of them today. Two. Yes, two of them today in some projects. Oh my gosh. And Susan is also on my team, and she says my hair looks great. Oh, Susan, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's funny. Okay, so we got DSP on sale. I've got my wanted to say class to go this month. We're actually going to make a really cute card. It's actually one of the cards that's in the class. I'm going to be making that for you tonight. So you can get the cardstock supply kit for $48. You get some of all these goodies here, and you can add the dies. It's not a bundle. It's a standalone die set in the back of the catalog. So there isn't a stamp set that goes along with it. So we're just going to use the dies. I don't think I'm going to use any additional stamps. If I do, it'll just be maybe a phrase or something, and I'm sure you guys would have something to go along with whatever I decide to use. So anyways, that's in the description of the video. We've also got our online class with the three of us, the Zany Zoo, should be available at the end of the month. And I know I have an extra D in here. I didn't fix it because I thought, why would I reprint this just for that? I don't care. Again, the link to this is in the description of the video. I don't have any more of those left, so we don't even need to talk about that. Of course, we have to talk about Stamp Happy Academy. It's amazing. And I think Kelly's going to be live next week after she gets back from San Diego. So make sure you check that out. We've got 3 different levels of subscriptions. And you just kind of choose which one's the best for you. And they are amazing. Oh, Dolly, yeah, you're right. I don't know where that card is. It used the Lace Shops Designer Series paper. Now that I think about it, thank you for reminding me. All right. My PDF tutorial library, I do have the Drawing Details class in there now as a PDF only, as all my kits are sold out. And adhesive kits, I've always got those for sale. And then finally, this weekend on Saturday, I am having my humongous rock bottom pricing sale on all my retired stuff. I've got like 4 to 5 years of stuff in this room next to me here, and I need my room back. So I'm hoping that all my local people will just come and clean me out. If they don't, I'll probably do some mystery boxes in a couple of weeks after I figure out, get everything in the boxes. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Okay, so first project, what do I want to do? We want to do this. This uses what is this even called? Inked Botanicals Designer Series paper. And I am pretty sure that it is on this list of papers. Right here, Inked Botanicals. So it's 15% off. So it is $10.62 this month. So we're going to use that. And I have chosen this pattern right here. Let me actually get my pieces and parts out here. So it's this pattern. This is the back of it. That's going to be our envelope. And I have so many of these little strips. I have got to come up with a card that uses strips because I think I told you guys this last week. I did a 3D swap for the cruise with a little cute sour cream container. And these pieces of paper need to be cut 5.5 by 6. So I have all these 1/2-inch pieces of paper that I need to do something with. So anyway, that's the pattern I decided to use. So here is my piece. This piece measures, I think it's 2 1/4 by 4. Let's quickly get the ruler out and make sure. Yep, 2 1/4 by 4. I have a piece of Lost Lagoon that is 5.5 by 11. And I have a piece of crushed curry. That's one of the colors along with Lost Lagoon that's in this paper pack. And this is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of crushed curry. And you can see that I have embossed it with the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. This is a carryover from the Occasions catalog. So I was very happy to see that carryover. I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Very Vanilla for the inside of the card. And then I have a 2 1/8, I think, 2 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch strip of vanilla. And then I have 2 labels that come out of the Nested Essentials. So these are the two middle ones. We've got the large one, the small one, and these two are in the middle. So I have the Very Vanilla is the smaller one, and then the Calypso Coral is the little bit larger one. And we are going to be using a stamp set called Vertical Blooms today. I was pretty excited about this stamp set because you'd never get like vertical sayings. And so this is kind of a fun set of stamps. And then you have all these fun little pieces here that are really cool. And I am going to share something with you when we get to that point. But first of all, what I need to do is we need to do a bit of scoring on this piece here. So like I said, it was 5.5 by 11. So we are going to score it at 5.5. No, we're going to score it at 4.25, because that's going to almost make our card size. To get my cutting blade out of the way. So we've got that one score line at 4.25. And so now we can fold this and burnish it with our bone folder, because we always need to burnish our fold lines. And then this is what we have. So we have this section over here, which is where we are going to end up putting this piece. But you know what? I might need to cut a little tiny bit of this off. I'm not sure how much. I think I'll decide after I get this glued on how much I'm going to cut off, and I'll cut off. It looks to be maybe like 1/4 inch, 3/16. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. But we're going to end up making this be a detachable bookmark. Okay. And so to do that, we are going to be using the Take Your Pick tool tips. And there are 3 of them. I'm going to show them to you in the catalog. So they're on page 145, and they're right here. And so you can see we've got this fun little perforating tool here. The other end, we have a hook kind of end, and then we have a piercing end. So you can make some fine little holes there. And I'm going to put that back together. And then the other piece that comes in this is a X-Acto knife end. And so here that is, so you have an X-Acto blade. And so of course I did get another Take Your Pick tool. So I have 2 here so that I can switch out these tips as I need them, but still keep my regular one for all the things I need to do with it. So we're going to use the perforating tool, and it does have a little safety. You can see that you cannot see the blade there, but if I pull this down, then the blade is exposed. So keep that in mind if you do get these, that you want to keep that closed, because you could cut yourself with it, and we would hate to have that happen. Blood on our cardstock is never a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to use my perforating tool to perforate this edge, and I'm going to use a metal ruler. This is something I got from my mom. It was in her sewing kit, and apparently it was made in San Jose, California. Yay for Made in America. So I am going to put this just at the edge of my piece of cardstock there, so you can see it. I've got the edge there. So I am just going to move this just to the edge of that, and I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to expose my perforating tool, and then I'm going to start this off of my piece of cardstock, and I'm pushing this into my ruler, and then you can see I have a little perforated edge there. Oh, you know what? I think I might have perforated. That's really funny. We're going to try that again, because I perforated this. Look at that. Can you guys see that? How did I do that? All right, I'm going to open this up, and we're going to try that one more time, because we need it to be, part of the problem is because I can't see. Okay, here we go. We're going to try this again. Good grief. Is that the right spot? I think so. Here we go, starting off of the cardstock. There we go. Okay, now we have a perforated end. There it is. Jeez Louise, I tell you what. Okay, so we're going to set that aside, and we're going to decorate this piece of Very Vanilla. And so we're going to use some of the stamps from the Vertical Bloom set. So we're making a bookmark here. And we are using photopolymer stamps, so I'm going to get my foam mat in here. And I am going to start with some Calypso Coral and my sentiment piece here. So let me ink that up. And I am going to stamp that right on the edge here, close to the edge. Try to get it straight. We'll see what happens. And try that. Yep, that worked out pretty good. And then we have this fun little foliage piece that we are going to stamp in some Lost Lagoon. So let me get that inked up. And we are going to stamp it twice, once kind of down here at the bottom, and then once right above that. Okay. And then we are going to get the next color, which is the Crushed Curry. You know, I thought about that too, Nancy. That's a great idea. I couldn't get this to work. Let me actually bring it up. Nancy says, couldn't you use the track in your paper trimmer? And let me bring in, here is a like scrap. This is some rich raspberry. This is kind of a piece of cardstock that I use for junk. I don't think, because I couldn't get it to, if I stick it all the way down in there, then it spreads apart the track. And I just don't know. I don't know. I don't want to like ruin my cutter to do this. I mean, I guess you maybe could. Yeah, no, I'm not having any luck doing that. I could probably use the side of my trimmer, but then again, is it going to cut through and cut into my trimmer? I don't know. Maybe if you had a piece of cardboard, you could throw it in here and you could maybe figure out where you wanted the perforating to happen. And then you could maybe use this as a guide. You know, you could run your blade along the edge there. That might work. That's not working. Why not? Oh, anyway. Could you use a side? Yeah, I mean, you could use anything. I just happen to have that metal ruler, and it would have worked if I had put it in the right spot. But I don't see that good, and so I had it on the very edge of this layer instead of off of this edge. So you guys can see where I do have a tiny bit of perforation there. And I'm actually going to cut that off because I don't want that on there. So I'm just going to barely trim that off. Again, I don't see that good. It's really kind of a bummer. Anyway, so there are a few options of how to get this to work, but I don't think the trimmer is something that will work, just as an FYI. Okay, so let's bring this back in and our crushed curry. And then there's this little piece here that will add flowers right above this here. So let's see if we can get it kind of lined up where we want it to be. Whoops, there we go. And then we'll do it again right here. I'm just kind of trying to look through the stamps to kind of see where all the tips are. And so that's what we have so far. Very cute. Now, I did notice as I was messing around with this stamp that it does come with this little piece right here, this little stamp here. And look how cute that is. It's perfect for about a 2-inch wide piece of paper. Actually, this might be a little bit wider. That's 2 1/8. But you can see it's about 2 inches from edge to edge. So how cute is that? If you wanted to make a bookmark and then just trim off the top, I thought that was kind of cute. I'm not doing that on this. I'm just going to stick this on here, and then we're going to poke a hole in it. So let me glue this on with my seal here. Oops. Need to get it rolling. Rolling. Okay. And then we're going to add it about like so. And then, yep, I think we are going to cut off about 1/4 inch. We're going to see. Yeah, that was probably about 1/4 inch. Okay. And then we're going to poke a hole in the top up here with our take your pick tool. So maybe about right here. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I've got some hole punches here. Stampin' Up! Used to sell hole punches. They don't anymore, but I'm sure a lot of you have some of these handheld punches. And I see Kimberly commenting that she can relate to not being able to see. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for sure. Even with my glasses, I still do not see that well, and it is very frustrating. Especially when you know this is your job. But maybe, you know, my struggles will help somebody else. So if that happens, then it's all worth it. Okay, so I've got some of the Lost Lagoon ribbon here. I am going to cut off a little chunk. And I'm going to thread it through my bookmark hole here. Actually, I want to do both. So we may have to end up using a, what do you call those things? Flosser. Here's a flosser. I always keep one very close to my desk because you never know when you're going to need a little helping hand to get some ribbon through a hole. There we go. So we've got it through, and then we can bring it back. And then we'll have our little ribbon end on our bookmark. Something like so. And then we'll trim off that rest of it. Okay, so we have our bookmark piece done. So let's move that out of the way, and then we're going to add our Designer Series paper to the layer of crushed curry that we have embossed with the cane weave folder. And if I cut this right, which I don't think that I did, but our cane weave piece is a little longer than it's needed, so we can always cut that off. It's difficult to add paper, but you can trim it off. Okay, so we have that. That's going to go on the front here. So I think we'll, not quite yet, but we will. Oh my gosh, Courtney says she has been legally blind for 22 years because of does it say hemorrhagic within the veins of my optic nerve? Oh my gosh, Courtney, I am so sorry. Obviously you're able to get along, so kudos to you. But yeah, that's frustrating for sure, I would imagine. Okay. We are also going to stamp a sentiment on this little piece of vanilla. We're going to do that in some Lost Lagoon. So let me get that. And it's funny, this stamp fits like perfectly on here. Of course, if you can see. Hee. All right, I feel like... There we go. And then I'm going to clean this off, and I'm going to stamp it again in coral on a scrap of vanilla. Where is my scrap? Here we go. Here's my coral. No driving, but stamping. Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I could probably get away with not driving. I hate leaving my house anyway, but I couldn't get away with not stamping. Okay. So we just need the U out of this. Let me get rid of my inks here so I don't stick my finger in it because, well, we all know Barb has a problem. So I am going to cut out the U. I'm just going to kind of fussy cut it, not like perfectly, but, you know, a little here and there. Going around. All right, come up the U. We'll come up the Y. And then we'll come over. And Jennifer just said, I was meaning to purchase, but accidentally bought the Take Your Pick tool twice. Well, now you can just get the add-on tips, Jennifer, and then you will have what you need. So hopefully that will work out. Okay, we'll come through. There we go. All right, so we are just going to add this with a tiny bit of glue. Where's my glue? Oh, it's hiding up here. Whoops. Add a little glue to that. And then we're going to cover up the U on the original stamped. piece, just so we're highlighting the word you. Okay, so we have that, we have this, and I tied a knot already around a can. I like to use my pixie spray. And all I do is just take the ribbon and I'm going to tie it around here. We're going to make a knot. And then I would chop it off right here and slide it off the can. And then that's what we have right here. So we have a loop. So what I like to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going to use liquid glue because I'm putting it onto something that has been embossed. And I'm going to put it about right here. So I'm not centering it. As you can see, sometimes centering things is difficult. Okay, so now I have this loop and I want my knot to be just about right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my finger there. I'm going to pull my loop out and I'm going to snip off just enough so that it will wrap around the edge, and then I can pull it back and I can wrap it around over here. So we're just going to kind of cover the seam. Oh, I left my tape somewhere else and I got to use this. So we're going to cover the seam of where the DSP meets the cane weave folder. Okay, and we'll do that. And you can see I'm going across my layer, and this is on purpose. Okay, so we're going to go across that one too. And then I need my nice scissors. Those are not them. These are the ones I use for ribbons. And we can trim off. Now, I need to get the right angle on this to trim this off correctly. So I know this is awkward with my arm in the way, but that's how it has to be done. Okay, so then this one we are going to add with some dimensionals, and I think I'm going to use some minis because I don't have a whole lot of space down here, and I don't want to end up putting a dimensional on my ribbon because then that's just going to add more bulk, and we don't need to add any more bulk. We know how the post office doesn't like that, so we're going to avoid adding bulk if we can help it. All right, so underneath the ribbon, we're going to try to center this on that other layer. And there we have it. Yay! Okay, so now we're going to add this to the front. Nothing super exciting about the front of this card. It's a standard layout that everybody uses. But yes, they are the Nested Essentials dies. Whoever just asked me that. Holly. Yes, they are. Okay, so we can press that. And now what's kind of cool, well, let me finish the inside. So here's our inside piece. And I'm just going to stamp this same combination of things on the inside, just kind of right down here in the corner. But let me get a scratch paper because I don't want to stamp onto my foam mat. So we are going to just kind of do that and then bring in the crushed curry. And then I'm going to somehow need to get some coral in here. And there are some other little stamps in the set, so maybe we can get something else to come out here. Where did I do with my stamps? Here it is. So there are these other little goodies. So let's just try that. We'll just see what happens. We'll pull this out and we'll pull this little topper piece out and get some blocks. And we'll kind of see what we can do. So we'll ink this up in the Lost Lagoon, and then we'll try this other little doohickey in the coral. And there. And you know what we might do? We might add another one kind of up here just to kind of pretend like it is supposed to be there, even though it isn't. Just to add a little more color. There we go. Okay. So then we have a place to write our message. Get rid of all these inks and all these stamps so I don't you know, make a mess and get ink everywhere, which I'm kind of surprised that I haven't already gotten ink everywhere. But we're going to add this to the inside. Like so. We're going to add our envelope. So we've got the same paper here, and I'm trying to use a much skinnier bead of glue so that it doesn't squish out all over the place. And we'll add this designer series paper here right to the edge. And then we're going to trim off the excess. And this is where I always end up cutting the envelope too. But you know what? Whoever gets the card, they're not going to know that I cut the envelope. They're just going to see this fantastic paper back here and go, oh my gosh, look at that. And when I open the card, it matches. So they won't notice that I've cut it because I can't see that well. And so I typically end up cutting that. Okay, so here's the beauty of this perforated card. We can fold it over so it goes to the inside. And then when the person opens it, they'll be able to see that it's perforated, and then they can tear it off and they can keep the bookmark. Is that not amazing or what? And you can just fold that down and you can shove it right into your envelope. You might have to do a little bit of creative shoving, but it should go in there. Voila, just like that. How fun is that? So that is a detachable bookmark card, you guys. I hope you liked it. Okay, let me get some of this stuff out of the way quickly, and we will move on to our next card. Oh, you know what? I meant to put some gems on the front of that, and I forgot. So I'm actually going to do that because I want to. That's why. But let me get all these things back in the bucket and stamps cleaned off so we don't make a mess, because you know we talk about that all the time. Barb is messy. Oh my gosh, I've got all these tools everywhere. Okay, let me bring that back. I have found that these festive pearls, I think these were supposed to be what was that color that just retired? Sage, soft succulent. I think they were supposed to be soft succulent. Oh my gosh, Janice. Janice just gave me a tip. Thank you so much. You are so sweet. I feel like these are supposed to be soft succulent, but I really feel like they go with the Lost Lagoon. So, I don't know. We're just going to wing it here. I don't know what we're going to do with them, but maybe we'll do this. I need one more. We will pull one off here. How about that? Just something a little different than what we normally do with gems. So now it's done. And then you can kind of pull this so that it kind of is angled. Anyways, so cute. Okay, next project. All right. So this is one of the cards from my Wanted to Say class. So here are the Wanted to Say dies. There are quite a few in here. How many are there? There are 14. And so each phrase, like this says, feel better soon, each phrase has a matching layer so that when you die cut them both together, you'll have the skinny detailed piece layered onto the little bit fatter piece, which just makes it look really cool. So there's 4 sentiments. There's feel better soon, happy birthday, celebrate, and you're too kind. I knew it was something. Then there's also some other little fun pieces. There's a little flower and a stem. There's a little heart trio. There's a little cluster of stars, a bow, and then a package or present. So they're really fun. And that's why I decided to use them, because I thought they were just super fun. And the fact that, you know, your sentiments are already built into the dies, you don't necessarily have to have any other stamp sets to make these work. So we are also using our In Color products on the card. So we're going to be using our In Color Designer Series paper. And I am using the Pebbled Path piece. We're using the heart side. And then we're also using the luster paper. Now, both of these items are included in your kit if you purchase it, along with a couple yards of each of the ribbons in color ribbons, and I needed to grab a different bucket, and the in color gems, in color dots, excuse me. And then some of those little gift bags. There's a lot of stuff in there. So our card today, we are going to focus on the designer series paper, the luster paper, the ribbon, and the gems. And I have a bunch of things already cut and ready to go. So let me get those. We have an envelope, and then of course we have the same paper. I cut this to 2.5 by 6, so that's going to go on our envelope flap. We have a card base of Pebbled Path that is 8.5 by 5.5. I have folded it in half already, and then we're just going to fold it back onto itself to make a Z fold card. This is like one of the simplest fun fold cards there are. We also have a layer of Moody Mauve, and this measures, I think it's 3.5 by 4.5. Yes, 3.5 by 4.5. We've got a white for the inside that's 4 by 5.25. I've got a little piece of that same paper. It's a 1/2 inch strip that we're going to add to the side of that. We've got a layer of white. I think this is 3.25, 4.25. Yes, 3.25 by 4.25. I have taken a 3 by 3 piece of the designer series paper, and I cut it in half on the diagonal. So we have that. I also have a 3.25 inch square piece of old olive, and we're going to cut that on the diagonal too. So this is what I typically do when I want to cut something on the diagonal. I get my trimmer. I put the points in the track. So I just kind of wiggle it around until both of my points are in the track. And then I hold on to the paper. And then I put the blade in the middle, and I cut up and I cut down. All right, so then we have 2 triangles out of old olive. And they just happen to be the triangles that we're going to glue, our triangle designer series paper pieces to. So, and the sizing should be just about perfect to get these on here with a nice border around them of approximately 1/8 of an inch. So we'll get some more glue on here. And get this piece on. Whoops, we gotta wiggle it a skosh. There we go. Okay. And then these 2 pieces are going to go on to our layer of white. So I'm going to add one up here in the corner. Whoops, that one might need to go on the bottom, and this one might need to go on the top. And yeah. I tried to pick paper that didn't really have much of an orientation to it. That way I didn't have to worry about, like, there's no words. So I don't have to worry about words being upside down or a pattern being upside down. So it's easier if you don't choose patterns that are upside down. Oh my gosh, I just got another tip from Jennifer. You guys are so amazing. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that very much. You guys are totally sweet. You're spoiling me tonight, honestly. You know that, don't you? All right, then we're going to add our piece to this piece of Moody Mauve. So we'll add some glue to the back of this and add it to the Moody Mauve. And I might have cut one of these pieces a little bit off. It appears that I have. So we are going to chop off just a tiny bit here, because we don't want to have too much excess, because then that just kind of looks dumb. So there we go. Okay, so then this we're going to attach to the front panel like so, but we do want to add a little bit of ribbon first. So I am going to bring in some of the Pebbled Path ribbon. I am going to bring it around, and we're going to tape it underneath this layer. We're going to cheat, because that's how I like to do ribbon, because then it's nice and tight. All right, so I am going to try to get it in the middle of this piece. Where's my tape? I don't feel like, here it is. See, I don't feel like I put it away. Okay, so we're going to tape this down. I'm a big fan of taping down ribbons just because I have such a tough time like tying things in knots and making them look nice. So I'm just a big fan. If you can tape your ribbon, do it. Okay. Then we can just add this just like that, and you'll never even know that we taped it. So, but you got to make sure that you don't put any glue on this section. Okay. Actually, I think I need to do this like this. Don't put any glue over here because this needs to be kind of free. So only on this half are we going to add the glue. So we'll just kind of do this. I might even not go all the way to the halfway point just to make sure that I don't go over. All right, so basically I'm trying to center, within the entire card here, I'm trying to center this on. And I think I got it upside down, but it's fine. Hearts can be upside down. Well, because this one's right side up, that one's upside. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Fun, fun, fun. I'm going to go ahead and add my little strip of designer series paper to the edge of my inside layer. Now I'm putting this on this is going to be towards the inside of the card. I thought maybe I could put it to the outside. I'll show you. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, who put that on? That's way off. Someone needs their eyes checked again. It won't matter. They're not going to get any better. Okay. So I was going to put it on the inside like this so that, you don't see anything here. But I'm going to give you guys the option. Maybe we think it looks better here. I don't know. I didn't think it did. I thought it was kind of weird. I don't know. I didn't like it that much because I also wanted to add. Now, I have done some die cutting. So I did use my luster paper. You can kind of see that the hearts and the flower have a bit of shimmer to them. And that is from the luster paper. And now these little hearts, they come out of the die as a connected trio, but you can see that I have cut some of them apart because I wanted to use them a little more individually. So they're all cut out of luster paper, and I hope you guys can see the shine on those. It is pretty cool. And then my little flower stem is out of old olive cardstock. So I was just going to add my little stem piece here, just kind of right here on the card. And I do have the stem kind of hanging off the bottom just a bit. I will cut that off. And then we will add our little flower. My gosh, I almost dropped it. That would have been great. Like that. So that we have some interest on the inside as well. So let me add this to the inside here. And we'll try to get it. Oh my gosh, I forgot to cut that. I literally said I was going to cut that off and then I didn't do it. Okay. There we go. So that's what we have on the inside. We've got our little hearts. Now I have also die cut, like I was mentioning to you guys. So here is the Feel Better Soon. And this is the detailed die. And then I cut the layer out of the luster paper. And so look how fun that is. That just really makes the words pop. Now I did use our adhesive sheets on the back of this. Finally, I know I talk about it all the time, how if you have a detailed image that you're die cutting, using adhesive sheets is a lifesaver, and I finally remembered to do it. And so now I just need to peel it off. Now I didn't have it cover the entire thing, so I have like an edge right here that I can start peeling up. And hopefully I can get the whole thing off without any problems. There we go. So this just takes a little patience and care because you don't want to, rip your die cut piece. So if you just kind of take your pick tool to get underneath a lot of those little goodies here, it's helpful. And I'm kind of trying to use my fingernails to hold this down, not my fingers per se. There we go. All right, so except right there, I did actually use my finger. Okay, so I like to start at the edge. And I can see that my B is lining up pretty nicely, I think. And then my F, come down here to the S. Oh, I didn't press hard enough to make that actually stick. The S, we can get the soon on here. No matter what kind of glue you do end up using, just get that on there. And so look how fun that is. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to lay this over our little expanse here where we've got the two diagonal pieces. And since we have a lot more room here, it's a lot easier to add the glue to this layering piece. So we can just use our liquid glue. You can use the seal. You could use dimensionals if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. And we'll just kind of get this. I want the word better to kind of be in the middle. There we go. And then, like I said, I've got all these little hearts, and I feel like I'm going to do this. So I'm going to add a couple of hearts. I've got the little duo that I'll add down here at the bottom. And there we go. Let's see. The adhesive sheets are wonderful. Oh my gosh, they are. And I wish that I would remember to use them more often than I do. I don't remember to use them often enough. I do have this. I might stick this little heart trio, or maybe I should make it a duo and just sit that right there. Let's see. I'm going to cut off this little single heart here. There we go. And then maybe we can just add this down in the corner of our inside piece. That might be a little too much glue. Just right here, so that we have a little bit of interest there. And we have some extra hearts, so if we wanted to, we could add some more. We don't have to, but I do have some gems. And I did want to say, where did I get this color combination? I printed out, Stampin' Up! Has given us a color coach. Now I have a link in the description of this video. I think it's the very first link that goes to a blog post that I made today where you can download this and print it off yourself and cut it apart. It does print with dotted lines between each different color. And then you can just print it off, and I just poked holes in it and put it on a book ring. So this color combination came from the Pebbled Path card of Old Olive and Moody Mauve. That's where I came up with this. I never would have put that together myself. I never would have chosen those two colors to go with Pebbled Path. Never in a million years. So I also did this last year. I actually printed it a lot smaller last year, but I did keep those smaller cards because it's got some other color combinations. I mean, it does have Pear Pizzazz, but you could put Old Olive there instead of Pear Pizzazz. It's got Pacific Point. I feel like you could probably use Azure Afternoon. So it's just some other color combinations. And then I actually found some super old cards while I was decluttering all my stuff that I have here. And some of these are still okay, like Calypso Coral. This is Chocolate Chip and Wild Wasabi. They're both retired colors, but you could probably go Early Espresso and Old Olive. So anyway, the big one here is what I have on my blog. It's got every one of our colors, so there's 50 cards, and then I just bought this large book ring at Walmart, and so the download is free. It's on my blog, so get it, download it, use it, and maybe you'll come up with some amazing color combinations that you didn't think about, like this one, for instance. All right, so now I need to figure out, do I want to use Moody Mauve gems, Or do I want to use Pebbled Path gems? And where do I want to put them? I don't know. I'm going to just gently lay them down because I do this a lot because I never know exactly where I want things to be. And if I just gently tap them at first, then I can take them off and move them if I need to. I'm not completely sold on that. So hopefully this one's not stuck yet and I can pick it up. Come on, you. You know you want me to pick you up, so just let me. I wonder if I could pick it up with that. There we go. Maybe I should do it over here instead. Or maybe up here with that. I think I'm going to go with that. I think I'm going to do that. So anyway, how cute is that? So this is actually one of the cards that you will make if you take my Wanted to Say class. And then you get the envelopes, you get a half a pack of the designer series paper, you get a quarter pack of the luster paper, you get the gems. I can't remember if it's a whole pack. I think it is. You get some of the cute little in color treat bags, and then you also get a couple yards of all the different ribbons. So we are going to make in color cards in the class. There's 4 cards total, and you make 2 of each. So you'll make 2 of this card, and now that you know how to make this card, you could make it any color you want because you'll have extra papers, extra luster paper, all that good stuff, extra ribbon, and so you could make it any color you want. So I hope you guys like that. I was actually very tickled with that color combination, so I hope you guys enjoy that. All right, let me clean up my mess, and then I have one other project here for you before we are done, and this is a cute little treat box. And I'm also going to use some paper that's on sale. This is the Delightfully Eclectic, very large pack of paper. It is also 15% off this month. And I have decided to use this piece here. I love, not all the papers have fronts and backs that match, but this particular piece does. And so that's why I'm choosing to use this. So to make this cute little box, we are going to make a little chocolate box. So I have 4 little Hershey's Nuggets here that we're going to put in the box. And so we are going to cut this. This is a 6x6. And we're going to cut it at 2 inches. Okay. So now we have a 4x6 piece and a 2x6 piece. So the 2x6 piece, we are now going to cut in half both ways. I'm going to do each piece separately so I don't screw it up, but I'm going to end up with 4 little pieces that are each 1x3. Okay. So we have those. And then this piece here, we're going to put it in so that the long end is at the top of the trimmer, and we are going to cut it at 5 7/8 of an inch. We're cutting 1/8 of an inch off. Okay, so this is garbage. Then we're going to do some scoring. So we're going to score each edge, each side at 4 not 4 5/8. We're going to score it at, what is it? Just 5/8? 5/8, yes. So I'm going to use this side of my trimmer. So I've got the longest, this is a quarter, this is a half. The next big mark is 5/8. So I'm going to go half, and then I'm going to scooch it over to 5/8. I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way, and I'm going to do a little score. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to do that same thing again at the 5/8. Do it again, go to half, then to 5/8. Then we're scoring again, and then half to 5/8, score again. Okay. Then we're going to put the long piece back at the top, and we're going to score this at 2 5/8 and 3 1/4. Okay. So we have all this scoring done. Now we need to do a little bit of cutting so that we can fold this up and make a box. I've got a little cheater here so I can remember to do this the right way. Sometimes it's hard to see your score line, so you just kind of have to either turn your paper over, get it in different light, whatever works for you to see it, do that. So we're going to cut on this little score line here, and I like to cut sometimes little tiny, You can see how I have a little tiny carrot cut out of that. I'm going to do that on both ends, just so that when I fold these in, they are easier to get to stick down, is what I'm trying to say, and I'm struggling with words here. Okay, so then I'm going to fold in both of these sides and burnish that with my bone folder. And then I have these little sides up here. Okay, and then the bottom or top, I guess, who knows. Scooch that so it's flush with the edge. Okay, and then we have to cut in on the sides here. So we have these little score lines that I am struggling to see, but I think I got them. I can just barely see that score line there. Okay, so now we're going to fold this up and make a cute little box. So I'm going to add adhesive to these tabs first of all. I'm going to use liquid glue just because I'm going to need a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that this gets folded properly and glued properly. So I am trying to cover the whole tab. And then we're just going to bring that edge up and try to get those together. Okay. We're going to do the same thing at the bottom here. So we'll add our glue here too. Again, I am trying to cover the whole tab, but I'm not trying to squirt out a ton. And if I do get a blob, I'm trying to use the tip to kind of push it together. Push it around so that it's not a big blob. Okay. And we'll do this one also. There we go. Oh, you know what? I forgot to fold these when I was folding stuff. What a ding dong. Or did I? I don't think I did. Anywho, it should be fine. We're going to pull these two tabs in. So we're going to add glue to the outside of these middle tabs. And then we're going to pull them in and stick them to the sides of the inside of the box. So pull those in and get those stuck. This is actually a really, really quick little box. And it's fun. Okay, and then we're going to fold the whole thing inside of itself. Whoops, one way or the other. So we're going to have those come to the outside and then like that. So now we have this adorable little box. Look how cute that is. So we've only used a 6x6 piece of paper. So now what I like to do with my Hershey's Nuggets is I don't like to necessarily glue to the nugget itself. So I'm going to put a glue dot on one end of each of these strips. Oh, you know what I should have done? Hold on, maybe I still can. No, never mind. I'm just going to do them all the same. I was thinking maybe I'd have two different patterns, but I changed my mind. So then I am going to, so this is where my glue dot is. So I'm going to bring this piece around and fold it on that, fold it around. And I'm going to bring this piece around. And then I'm going to push my glue dot onto the paper. So I'm not actually pushing my glue dot onto my nugget. I am just pushing it onto the paper. And that way, if you decide that you don't want to give this to somebody or you just want to keep it for yourself, you can slide the paper sleeves off really easily and then eat the chocolate. Because who doesn't love a Hershey's Nugget, right? I don't know. Okay. Fold that over. So now we have 4 cute little nuggets and they should fit right in the box. Look at that, how cute they are. And they fit right in. Then we just have to decorate it. So I've already done a few things here. I did pull out this ribbon combo pack because garden green is one of the colors in this particular pattern. And so I am just going to bring this ribbon, whoops, we're going to just tie a little knot. Not so tight that we can't slide the ribbon off of the box, but, you know, tight enough that we're hoping. I am really bad at tying knots on things, and that did not go over very well. Hold on. We're going to try it again. I'm very bad at tying knots around things and having them not be loose. I don't know why that is. And people have said to try to use glue dots, and I don't understand. So we're gonna try it again, and we're gonna get it this time. I've willed it to happen. Okay, so we're gonna bring this up again, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna get that out of the way so it's not. All right, hold on. We want to have it look nice too. We're not just trying to. Okay, I'm gonna keep my thumb there. Maybe. Now I've got my finger on the knot. I'm trying to push the ribbon through. And there. Much, much better. I knew it. I willed it to happen, and it did. Okay, so let's just snip some of this off. So then what I've also done is I've already punched out some goods here. Okay. Oh, look at that. That was a scrap. So I've got the pedal park punch. I don't know if that's not what it's called. It's probably called the pedal builder punch or something like that. And then I have this little stem punch. And so I did the tiny little pieces out of old olive. And so we're going to just add a little bit of glue to these little buds, and we're going to try to glue these. Need my reverse tweezers. Yeah, I've heard that before too, and I don't understand. It's probably not that difficult, but it is for me, apparently. Okay. I need to speed this up because I've got 2 men upstairs that are probably hungry, and they're probably wondering what's taking so long. Do they not know that sometimes we just have to be live a little longer? Okay, so then I did all of the petals out of Bubble Bath, and I'm just going to kind of layer them together. I already did kind of use a piercing tool, not a piercing tool. What do you call that thing? A stylus, to kind of push those down in there. I also need, because one of the colors in this paper is Cajun Craze, but we're going to do, actually, we're going to do a big one. Copper clay, because I feel like a copper clay will work. Okay, here we go. So we're going to kind of pull the petals of the flower up just a little bit to kind of make it a little more 3D-ish. Okay. And I do need to trim off my ends. They're a little crazy right now. So let's do that. And let's do this. No, this one needs to go a little tiny bit more. There. And then I'm going to add my little flower here with a glue dot. Maybe more. Oops. Apparently I need more than one glue dot. I got one stuck on my fingernail. What the heck? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, so we're going to add our little flower right there. And then we're going to try to tuck these underneath somehow or another. I think I need a glue dot on the back of this leaf right here. Okay. And look how cute that is. And so if we did this right, we should be able to slide that off. Whoops, we didn't do it right. We are going to change our mind here, and we're going to add a glue dot right here instead. I'm going to pull that leaf off because it's got a glue dot on it, and that's not going to work for me. There. And then we have our little box with our cute little treats. And then we should be able to get the ribbon back on here, hopefully. Yes, I think we can. Yay! And there it is. So just a quick little box for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And then I'll bring in the other cards. And then we have our fun card from the Wanted to Say bundle. That is my class for the month. And then we have our fun detachable bookmark card for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. If you need any supplies, I would love to be your demonstrator. My link to my store is in the description of this video. Don't forget that the color coach is on my blog. The link is in the description. And, oh, I might put these on my blog. I might not. I always want to, but there's just so many things to do every day that I don't know if I can, but I'll try. So anyways, thank you guys again. Thank you so much to you girls that gave me some tips. I appreciate that so much. And I will see you guys next week. So have a great week and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.